Alright, hello guys and welcome to another play along video. This is going to be a special one because I think this is the 10th episode in the series, so that's kind of a landmark, right? So I thought I'd do something special. So let's do a NMPZ play along series today. So all three games in the challenges today will be played no moving, no panning, or no zooming, meaning you only get one picture and that's all you have to work with. So naturally, that's pretty hard. So I'll try to make sure that I don't make it too hard for you guys. So we'll play some easier maps, and hopefully there'll still be some clues that we can talk about and discuss. And that should hopefully help you guys also a little bit because the idea of this play along is that there'll be three challenge links in the description, and then you go ahead and play the challenge, and then you come back and watch my perspective. I'll try to explain my logic, my reasoning, and all of that. So that might give you some tips, might provide you some insight on what goes on in my head when I make a guess. And then if you have some tips for me, you can let me know as well in the comments. That way we both get to learn, and I feel like that's the best way to learn, right? Just to play with each other and pick up tips on the way. So that's the idea. And also one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm probably going to be back home in India when this video goes up. So if I don't immediately respond to your comments, that's the reason why. But of course, I'll try to get to the comments as soon as possible. So yeah, this is going to be like a pre-recorded video. But anyway, first map I want to play today is a learning world, which is created such that it has like clues and stuff in the locations, so it makes it a bit easier. It's made for no moving game, so I hope it's still playable NMPZ, but yeah, we'll see, we'll find out. So let's get started. Challenge link will be in the description again. So make sure you've played this challenge, you've played the challenge at this point in the video, and let's go ahead and see what we have. All right. So a few hints here to start off. Actually, there's a lot of hints to tell you exactly what country this is. So first of all, we have car meta. So this car automatically tells you that you're in Kyrgyzstan, so you don't have to worry about anything else. But if you don't want to use car meta, there's still other hints. First one being that there is the Cyrillic script being used, so you use that in like Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, a bunch of places, and Kyrgyzstan is one of them. And that kind of narrows it down a bit. And then you also have a red strip on the license plate here, so that is very typical for Kyrgyzstan. Like pretty much every vehicle in Kyrgyzstan will have like a red strip on the number plate. So that combined with Cyrillic should point you towards Kyrgyzstan anyway. Albania sometimes has a red strip on the plate as well, but then they do not use Cyrillic. Now this is pretty interesting actually. There's like a mountain to our west. I'm not really sure where you get that in Kyrgyzstan. I don't think it's Bishkek because Bishkek is pretty flat, unless it's like this mountain here. I don't know what this looks like. Panorama view to Bishkek? Maybe. And then there's a dome here? Maybe something like this. Let's see. Ah, it's Osh. That makes sense. Why did I not? Why did I not even look at Osh? But yeah, then it doesn't really matter. I guess the point was that we got Kyrgyzstan, and Osh makes a lot of sense with that mountain west. So nice, well done, especially if you got Osh as well. Why is my streak on 3? Let's reduce it to 1 for the video. Alright, so um, next round, I think this is Ecuador, but I am not fully sure. Let me look for a bit more. So you have white lines on the outside, and if you can see, there's like a slightly fainted yellow line in the middle. So that kind of points you towards the Americas. North and South America usually have that. And then, um, I mean, this doesn't look like North America at all, right? Doesn't look like US, Canada at least. Mexico is possible, I guess, but I think this looks way more like Ecuador and Colombia. You also have this like signpost. This is a very thin signpost that you'll usually not get in stuff like Peru or Bolivia. Peru has like a black and white striped signpost. Bolivia has like a wooden signpost. Um, so you can kind of rule those out. Um, so I think it should probably be either Colombia or Ecuador, because they both usually have like this very thin signpost. But I'm thinking more Ecuador here, maybe because of these like drains or gutters or whatever you call them. And yeah, I guess that's not really more hints than that, right? One rule of thumb for Ecuador is that if it doesn't look like any country you know in South America, then it's probably Ecuador. But that's kind of what I'm going off of here, to be honest, because nothing else particularly makes sense to me. So I'll try Ecuador. Let's see. It is indeed Ecuador. So yeah, not an easy round, I must say. I don't know why this is meant to be in a learning world. Maybe there's some hints. No moving. Ah, yeah. So if you're playing no moving, you can see the back of the sign. In Colombia, you would have a cross on the back of the sign. But in Ecuador, you don't have a cross. You just have a normal signpost like this. So you can eliminate Colombia that way. And yeah, that's about it, I think. Oh, you also have these like yellow taxis. So yellow taxis are usually Ecuador and Colombia, looking like these. So that kind of narrows it down to the two of those, and then you can eliminate it based on the signpost. Another thing is this antenna. You get that in Ecuador, Colombia, as well as Mexico and Brazil. But yeah, as I said, with these taxis, it's going to be Ecuador, Colombia, and then you can eliminate Colombia because of no cross. So yeah, Ecuador is kind of one of those countries where you usually recognizing it, or like you can usually recognize it by eliminating other countries or other possibilities, instead of having like concrete clues for the country itself. So anyway, that's nice. Let's keep on going. And speaking of cross on the back of signs, here we have it. So this time we're in Colombia. You can also see a yellow plate. In Colombia, like normal vehicles will have yellow plates. And this is the cross on the back of the sign that I was talking of. So you can see there's a horizontal line and a vertical line. So this is very typical for Colombia. Also the yellow plate. So we should be somewhere here. Not fully sure which city this is, but think it doesn't matter too much for now. Okay, it was further north in Monteria. Nice job if you got Monteria there somehow. But yeah, well done if you got Colombia there. So let's keep on going. I mean, surely you guys know that this is Japan, and there's a lot of Japanese characters here. We are driving on the left. There's also low cam. So yeah, you get like if the camera is lower to the ground, you get a wider blur. So yeah, it's low cam. We're driving on the left. It has like these yellow license plates on, and like you have like these box-like cars. So that's pretty typical for Japan. There's also an area code here, 0098. But it's been so long since I learned Japanese area codes that I don't really remember where it was. If I remember correctly, like the 01s were up north. That's pretty much all I remember. So maybe maybe they increase as we go south. I don't really remember. So maybe we're somewhere in the south. It's very hard to read in Guess Japan, so I'll trust that 98 is like pretty south, and let's just go like Kumamoto or something. Let's see. And do we have any other clues though? Nah, not really. Pachinko slot. Yeah, okay. Ah, it's even further south. Okay, that makes sense. We were on Okinawa, the island. That makes sense. I guess if you knew the area code for Okinawa, then I'm sure you guys got that. I didn't really get an island vibe here. Like, there's no palm trees or anything, so I don't know. Didn't really feel Okinawa to me, but I was wrong. Oh, if we could zoom, then it literally says Okinawa right here. So if you're playing no moving, then I guess you have plenty of hints. This is very 5 cable. You also have another sign here, so yeah, if you're playing no moving, that's very 5 cable. But nice, if you got Okinawa there, then well done. Let's keep going. Oh, this is a classic one. This is an epic location. I'm sure some of you might have seen it, but if you've not seen it and this is your first time looking at it, then yeah, these trees, Baobab trees, are very cool, very nice. And this is a very famous trekker that you see in the country of Madagascar. The thing with trekkers is that it's kind of hard to like. So trekkers are basically covers that have been taken by like, you know how there's like Google cars that are taking street view coverage, and then trekkers are like coverage that is usually not taken on a car. It's like usually some person walking or hiking into a place where cars won't usually be or something like that. So in Madagascar, you get a bunch of trekkers, and probably one of the more famous ones is this one. It's the Baobab Tree Plantation or whatever, and or not plantation. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, these very unique looking trees. You find them in this place. So let's see, where was it on the map? I should be able to find it. It's somewhere in the west here. But they recently changed how the maps look, so it's kind of harder to find it now, I think. At least for me. It's not up there. I feel like it should be somewhere out here, but I just don't see it for some reason. It's not there? Why is it not there? Okay, let's zoom in again. Morondava. Ah, here, Baobab Avenue. That's where we are. So you have this Baobab's protected area, and that's where we are. Should be somewhere on this road. Nice. So well done if you got that, and if you didn't, then this is like one of those things that you either know or you don't know, right? That's the thing with most trekkers, I think. It's like you either know them or you don't know them. So nothing much to teach or learn. It's just kind of just have to see them once or twice, and then you'll remember them for next time. So nice. That was a decent start, decent game. Let's move on to the next, which is going to be on a diverse world. Again, links for this game will be in the description, the challenge link. Keep in mind that this is going to be a bit harder than a learning world because diverse world is just a normal world map. It's not meant to have like specific clues at spawn. So it should be a bit harder, but I'd say this is one of the easier maps, easier world maps to play NMPZ. So that's why I'm going with this one second. And let's see what we have. Okay, so hopefully you finished playing your challenge at this point, by the way. But here we should be in Argentina, and the way you can tell that is well, you can see a bit of the black car. In Argentina, you get a black Google car. You also get it in Uruguay and Peru in South America. Um, but it can't be Peru with how flat it is. Uruguay, I guess, is possible, but yeah, I don't know. You've just got like very like tons of open fields, and it's kind of dry compared to Uruguay, I'd say. So maybe not. I don't know. But this is very typical Argentina, though. Like double yellow line in the middle. You can also see like the sun is kind of north here. Like north is facing to our right, and you can see that the sun's kind of like on the right side of the road. So you can kind of make out that sun's probably in the north. So you're in the you're in the southern hemisphere, and with double yellow lines in the middle, you kind of narrow it down to the continent of South America. And then with the black car, it narrows it down to Peru, Argentina, Uruguay. And then you eliminate Peru. And then between Argentina and Uruguay, this looks a lot more like Argentina, I'd say. No specific hints to say that this is definitely Argentina and not Uruguay, but it's just the landscape mainly. Like this landscape, I'd say, is way, way more Argentinian than Uruguay. So I'd say probably somewhere out here should be good enough. Bit more south. Okay, makes sense. Literally where it says Argentina on the map. Nice. So that's where we were. Let's keep on going. Ooh, some place names. Okay, interesting. I think we should be in Ecuador here again. And the way you get that again is kind of a process of elimination. Again, the sun is in the north and you have double yellow lines in the middle, so you kind of narrow it down to South America. And then these kind of signs, I'd say, are very typical for Ecuador as well. So that's one way to maybe think that this is Ecuador. And then you can also rule out Colombia because like the plates don't seem to be yellow, they all seem to be white. In Colombia, you'd have yellow plates on the cars, on the vehicles. So that kind of points towards Ecuador instead of Colombia as well. Um, what else? Can't really be Peru, Bolivia. Like, I don't know. Just doesn't look like it. Based on the landscape, you automatically should narrow this down to Ecuador and Colombia. There's some mountains in the distance. And yeah, I'd say this sign is also a big hint though. Like green sign with arrows on it. Very, very typical for Ecuador and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we should be in Ecuador. Panos Patate or something. I'm not sure where these are. Don't really have a region guess in Ecuador for this round, but yeah, I don't know. I'll just go up here. Let's see. No, it's literally just middle of Ecuador. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if the signs really helped, but nice. Well done if you got Ecuador there. Yeah, again, I think that green sign was a big hint, and outside of that, yeah, like you can kind of eliminate Colombia. And just landscape-wise, it looked way more like Ecuador, Colombia than any of these. All right, next round. What do we have? We are driving on the left. I hate when the sun is like in your face, it's so hard to see. But it looks like this car maybe has a black number plate with white text on it. So that puts you in Malaysia and Indonesia, but it looks like there are two blocks of white text, so that puts you in Malaysia. Um, yeah, I'd say there are a few main hints here. Okay, so first of all, you have these oil palm plantations. And these are very, very common in Malaysia, some parts of Borneo, Malaysia as well, Sarawak and whatnot have some plantations. And you also get them in some parts of Indonesia, North Sumatra, Riau, some places in Kalimantan will have these plantations of oil palms. So these trees, plantations, very helpful. Kind of narrows down the region. Also in southern Thailand, you can find it like somewhere here in the peninsula. But then when you narrow it down to this, you're either in South Thailand, Malaysia, or Indonesia, then the number plates I think are the biggest hint here. As I said, this is a black number plate. So Thailand, you can rule out Thailand, it won't have a black plate. Malaysia and Indonesia are the only two that makes sense then. And then Indonesian number plates have three blocks of white text on the black plate. And Malaysian number plates have two blocks of white text instead. So that should kind of tell you that we are in Malaysia instead of Indonesia. And then this is a Gen 4 camera. So as of now, as of the day I'm recording this video, Borneo, Malaysia does not have a Gen 4 camera. So you can eliminate Borneo, Malaysia from the equation, and you're kind of just left with mainland Malaysia. So I'm just going to click somewhere on mainland Malaysia, and let's see. Yes, that is indeed where it was. Makes sense. So well done if you got that. Let's keep on going. All right. Okay, now this automatically screams BC to me, so British Columbia and Canada. Um, reasons for that are mainly these like pine trees, very, very typical in BC. I'd say these kind of pine trees. You also have yellow lines in the middle, so it kind of rules out like most of Europe. And yeah, it's very mountainous. BC is super mountainous. Like, you can just see it on the map. So when you have these kind of mountains and pine trees with a yellow line, it's kind of like almost has to be BC, I'd say. Um, I guess northern US is not impossible. I'm trying to see if this pole has like a transformer on it, which is also typical for BC, but it's not easy to see NMPZ. Maybe I can open the location later and see if we can spot it no moving. But in BC, the poles will usually have a like cylindrical transformer thing facing towards the road, so that can help as well. But yeah, I guess like northern US or maybe like western Alberta is not impossible. Like Idaho, Montana, something like that, or somewhere here. But yeah, I'd say it's probably just going to be BC based on this landscape. So let's see. Yes, indeed, it is BC, and let's take a look at the location if we see the transformer. Oh, this is updated coverage. Man, look at this though. It looks so beautiful in the updated coverage. Anyway, that's not the point. 2012 coverage is what we were looking at. So, you can't really see it clearly, I guess. Let's see if we move here. No, like something like this is what I meant, is this kind of transformer facing the street is usually a thing in BC, but yeah, I'd say it's not that clearly visible here. So you can just focus on the mountains and the pine trees for this round. So nice, well done if you got British Columbia there. I don't really know how to explain it, how to explain why it's BC and why it's not like Northern Idaho or something. But I'd say just the pine trees and stuff looked very, very typical for BC, so I didn't even think of anything else really. It's a matter of playing as well, right? Like when you've seen like BC, for example, a bit like a bunch of times, hundreds of times, if not thousands, then you kind of just develop like a vibe or like an image for it in your head. And that's kind of what was going on there. Anyway, let's move on. So this is a nice round. We have pare written here on the stop sign. So if it says pare on the stop sign, that's usually an indication that you are in South America. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the only continent where you get pare written instead of stop. Mexico and a bunch of like Central American places use alto instead on the sign. So you can kind of eliminate those as well. You're just pretty much going to be in South America. And then the other hint here is if you see this signpost, the back side of the sign is black in color. So black back of signs are going to be in Brazil. That's a typical Brazilian thing. So that automatically puts you in Brazil. Just these two signposts. That's all you needed to get the country here. And this roof also makes sense, like white houses with like red tiled roofs, very common in Brazil. So we should be somewhere in Brazil. Now, region guessing, this is actually pretty hard to be honest. This looks pretty generic if I say so. Honestly, this is probably just like central Brazil somewhere, like Tocantins, Goiás. That's probably my best guess here. Because it doesn't particularly remind me of any area. Maybe a bit north in Maranhão or Piauí makes sense, but I'd say probably Tocantins, Goiás is my best guess. I mean, I don't know how to explain region guessing in Brazil because I'm not an expert at it myself, but Northeast is like super dry, I guess. In the south, you get like some mountains, it's more green, I'd say. And this part is like the Amazon rainforest pretty much, and it doesn't look like either of those. Mato Grosso and MGDS kind of you'll get like more red soil than this, I'd say. So I'm kind of just left with Tocantinsko, yes, I think. So I'm just gonna go on the border. Let's see. Okay, Ciara. I don't know. I don't know how you guess Ciara on that location. Maybe someone in the comments has a tip, but I personally don't know how you guess Ciara there. This is also updated coverage. That's the problem with a diverse world these days, is that all the coverage is quite a bit outdated. But even so, it's a very nice map, very playable. Yeah, like if I saw this, maybe I would have considered. Like here, you couldn't see any mountains at all, pretty much. This was the view we had. But like these mountains kind of remind me of more like northeast, I guess. Makes sense. All right, so that's where we ended up. 19K, not the best score, but not the worst, I guess. So let's move on and let's play a community world. So this is going to be this is going to be hard because this is not the easiest map in NMPZ. Like this is probably one of the harder maps in NMPZ. So let's see how it goes. Again, challenge link will be in the description, and hopefully we don't get too many baited rounds. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So challenge link in the description. Hopefully you've played it at this point, and let's go ahead and start the game. Okay, this one's not baity. That's nice. There's actually a bunch of hints that tell you the country. So let's start off with this. It says Dur on the stop sign. So last time we had Pare, that was South America. If you have DUR Dur on the sign, it is Turkey. Only Turkey. The like if you see this on Street View, then you're pretty much going to be in Turkey. You don't have to worry about any other country then. So that's one hint for Turkey. Other hint is this. This is a classic Turkish pole. It's like a, I don't know, like a A-shaped pole with a bunch of like ladders, I guess. Like it's like a ladder, A-shaped pole, pretty much. So that's another hint for Turkey. You also have yellow and white curbs. So that's another hint for Turkey. And you also have Turkish bollards right here. So they're like white, and then on the other side we will have like a little bit of red on it. So typical Turkish stuff. The pavement, I don't know how to explain the pavement exactly, but that is also a pretty Turkish pavement, I'd say. It's kind of grainy, kind of faded out, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of clues pointing out Turkey here. Now, where in Turkey, I'm not too sure, but it's kind of green and there's a few mountains. So that puts me in like this kind of area. Like northern Turkey is very green and mountainous, but it's not that mountainous and it's not that green. So I don't want to go like super north, but maybe around Bolu is where I'll guess. Okay, I was wrong. It was indeed more north, but it's like I guess in one of the like flatter parts in the north, you know. It's not in the middle of the mountains, but makes sense somewhere in northern Turkey. So nice, well done if you got it. Let's keep on going. This time we should be in Brazil, and how do I explain this? Well, this pole right here looks like a very Brazilian pole. I guess you have it here as well. That maybe is one hint, but I guess it's the reddish soil, right? Like reddish soil, as I said, very common in Brazil, Cambodia, Uganda, Kenya, some of these. But when you have a Gen 4 camera and reddish soil, it kind of points you towards Brazil. Um, Also kind of green. I don't know, like this is just a typical Brazilian landscape vegetation with the red soil, these kind of greenery on the side. Also this green sign with I don't know, like white signposts, very typical for Brazil. So this is a classic Brazilian thing. So we should be in Brazil. Again, this is pretty hard to region guess if you ask me. I know there are like some state or region specific polls in Brazil. I'm not fully sure which one this is though. So I don't really know. I kind of want to go like Para or something, you know? Because it feels pretty green. It doesn't quite feel as Amazonian as like Roraima, Acre, one of those. It's also Gen 4, so like Acre will not have Gen 4. Roraima is very limited Gen 4. So I'm thinking like Para, maybe Amazonas, one of these. But I could be wrong. Could just be like out here, maybe just central, maybe even more southern than I thought. I don't know actually. I'm not gonna dig myself a deeper grave or whatever the saying is. I'll just go like here. It was Amazonas. Okay, well at least my vibes were correct there. It did feel pretty like almost Amazonian, but I guess it was literally downtown Amazonas. Okay, makes sense. Uh, so not too bad of a guess, but when you look at like not too bad of a thought process, I guess. But when you look at the actual guess, it's pretty bad. It's only 2,000 points, so yeah, not an easy round, but nice if you got closer. Okay, now this looks pretty tough to me. Repsol, I'm not sure if that's a country-specific brand. I was thinking maybe Spain here, but I'm not fully sure. Sun in the south, so we're in the northern hemisphere, and you can see you have a European plate here. There's a bit of blue on the left of the plate, so you should be in Europe. Um, so you can kind of eliminate a few countries here, right? Like, okay, so firstly, this looks like Southern Europe. This does not look like, definitely doesn't look like Nordics or the Baltics. Doesn't look like UK Ireland because they drive on the left. Um, so yeah, it doesn't really look like Eastern Europe as well. It's got a southern vibe to it. It looks warmer, and yeah, this architecture and stuff looks more southern, let's say. And then when you're looking at Southern Europe, Portugal would have a blue on the left of the plate and yellow on the right of the plate. But here we don't see yellow on the plates, so it's probably not Portugal. Italy would have very narrow front plates, and it'll also have blue on both sides of the plate, so you can eliminate Italy here as well. So I think you're kind of just left with Spain anyway. Doesn't really feel like Greece at all. Um, so yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with Spain here. Just nothing else particularly makes sense to me, so I'll try out Spain. I'm not sure where. Let's go here. That's not bad. That's pretty decent. It's Valencia. Okay, makes sense. That's close to Valencia, I guess, but yeah, that's pretty reasonable, I guess. Spain was pretty much the only thing that made sense to me. Alright, next round. What do we have? Oh no, I'm gonna mess this one up, I think. Okay, first of all, we are either in UK or Ireland, and the way you can tell that is, oh, I'm not gonna mess this up, I just noticed something. Okay, so we're driving on the left, you can see stop is written on the left side of the road. So you can, if you see this sign also, it's on the left side of the road. So you can tell you're in a left driving country. If you see this van as well, the steering wheel is on the right side, so that means that you are driving on the left side of the road. So that kind of points you towards UK and Ireland, especially when you consider this like greenery and whatnot. These hedges, very typical. Sun in the south as well, so you know you're in the northern hemisphere. So you automatically consider Ireland and UK, and then if you see these dashes, there's like yellow dashes on the side of the road, and that is going to put you in Ireland. Because, yeah, this is a pretty classic Irish road lines. Yellow dash lines on the side of the road. UK will not have them usually, I'd say. Maybe in some rare occasions, but yeah, this is way more of an Irish thing. You also have this like White House with like a black or grey roof or something like that. That's a pretty typical Irish house, I'd say. And you also have some Irish language here, I think. So that's what I was a bit scared about because I often mess up like Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. But yeah, this one should be Irish nonetheless, and you can confirm it using the road lines. So somewhere in Ireland, let's see. Okay, way further south, but get the country at least. And let's go to the final round, and I think we should be in Jordan here. How do I explain this? There's not too many hints to go off of, but it just looks like Jordan, dude. How do I explain this? Okay, so we have firstly, we have these like, oh, I don't know, like these buildings. You see these buildings? These are very typical for, I don't know, just like this kind of area of the world, I'd say. So, well, there's also not that much coverage, right, in these kind of countries. So, realistically, when you're looking at these buildings, also combined with the palm trees, that tells you that it's like a, you know, it's like I don't know, kind of tropical area, or I don't know how you call this, but it's not like super north or super south or something. So, if you combine the palm trees and this architecture, you should and you like take into account which countries have coverage, I should realistically only be thinking of Tunisia, maybe Malta, but Malta drives on the left, so not that. So Tunisia, Israel, Jordan, Palestine, and maybe UAE. But UAE really doesn't look like this, right? If you've seen UAE, you know that it's got like extremely white buildings and also some tall buildings. So yeah, this doesn't really like UAE looks very different. But Jordan, Israel, and Tunisia, I think, should be the three main concerns here. Now, Israel and Palestine, you'll usually have yellow plates, so you can kind of ignore them. So you're left with Jordan and Tunisia. Tunisia will have a bunch of black plates, black number plates, so you can safely eliminate Tunisia as well, and then you're kind of left with Jordan. I guess that's the best explanation I can provide for this location, other than, you know, it just looking like Jordan, really. Like, if you've seen Jordan a bunch of times, it just kind of looks like this. So I think we should just be in Jordan. Might just be Amman, could be also one of the other cities, maybe Jerash or Kerak or something. But yeah, I'm just gonna go Amman, I think. And it is. It's just middle of Amman. So nice. Yeah, the other thing about Jordan is that there's not too much coverage in Jordan. It's mainly like this area that has coverage. It's like along the western coast or like western part of Jordan. So you don't have to worry about like these places, Azraq or this highway here or whatever. So yeah, and most of the coverage is just centered around the capital. So that also makes sense. So we ended up with 20.3k, which is a decent score. Could have been better if I was a bit more ballsy in my Brazil guess, and yeah, I don't think I'd get a better guess on Turkey, to be honest. But nice, that's where we end up. So well done if you got a better score than me, and hopefully you got something out of this video. And if you have any tips for me, of course, you can leave them in the comments. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day, nice week, whatever is going on in your life. I hope it's going on nicely, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Of course, as I said, um, or did I say it in this video? I don't even remember. But I've been pre-recording some videos for you guys when I'll be back home in India visiting my family. So uh, this play along as well as the past couple and a few more in the future will all be pre-recorded. So you guys will have to just uh, yeah, I don't know, like if you give me any like tips or inputs for how I should improve these videos in the future, then yeah, you'll have to wait for a bit. But yeah, anyway, that's about it, and I'll see you guys in the next play along, which I'll probably record very soon. So yeah, have a nice day, nice week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.